Welcome. In this lesson, all we're going to do instead of graphing it is we need to write the actual coordinate. Now we're reflecting across the y-axis, which is this vertical axis. And so, again, you could technically graph it or look at the graph if you wanted to. I'm 4 to the left, I'm going to be 4 to the right. Again, same thing here. If I'm 4 to the left of the red line, I'm going to be 4 to the right. This one, I'm out here at -9. That means I'm going to be out here at +9. But what I want to emphasize is you don't need to take the time to graph it like I'm doing. What you can realize is when you reflect across the y-axis, the x value of our points changes sign. So this point here that was at -4, 0 just changes to a +4x value. The y value does not change. So when I look at these points down here, all I need to know is I need to take the x value and change their sign. I don't do anything to the y value. So this would be a +4, -7. This would be a +4, 0. And this would be a +9 and a -9. So I did not change the sign on the y's because I reflected across the y-axis. It's the x that's changing. Now it's the reverse when we reflect across the x-axis. When I reflect across the x-axis, the x does not change, right? This value here of -4, 0. No, sorry, not -4, 0. That's -4, -2. I can do my coordinate system, -4, -2. That's this point right here. Reflected up here, what happens is the x does not change this time, but the y changes sign to a +2. So this time I'm going to change the sign on the second number, on the y values. So when I'm reflecting across the x-axis, it's the y that changes. So again, without even having to take the time, it's just 3, +9, 4, +9, and -4, +2. And I almost made a mistake up here. This x value was -3. I need a negative in front of that. The x doesn't change. -3, -3. It's the 9, the y values that changed sign. So just be careful that you type things in correctly. Across the y-axis, it's the x that changes. So this is going to be 4, and then -10 doesn't change. Change the sign on the y, but 0, you don't need to put -0. The opposite of 0 is 0. And then -10, because we don't change the y value. Again, opposite of 0 is 0. Don't change the y value. That's -6. The opposite of -4 is 4, or we change the sign on the x and don't do anything to the y. And I think all of them are going to be across the x and y axis. I don't think any of them get any harder than that. Oh, no, we do get across the diagonal line. Now, what's nice about diagonal lines, if you cross the diagonal line y equals -x, that's this one. I want to emphasize, let's just look at one point and see what the pattern is. So I'm going to take point G. I'm not going to do point D because D doesn't even move. D will be the same. D will still just be -1, 1. But let's look at G. G has an x value of 2 and a y value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's point G. Now when I reflect it, I'm going to go straight diagonally 1, 2, 3 and a half. So there's my half. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to end up right here. And that point, if you'll notice, is -5, -2. What happens is the numbers swap positions. So the 2 goes to where the y is, or the x becomes the y, and the y becomes the x, and they change signs. So that's really what happened here. This 1 went here, changed sign. This -1 went here and changed sign. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this a -1 because that was the y and I changed its sign, and this a -4. This will be a -5 because that's what the y was and I changed its sign. And then I'm going to change the sign on 7 and make it, which was an x, and make it a y. -7. This will be -5. This will be -2. Now, I want to emphasize that's only across this diagonal line that is sloped down. If we were to have a diagonal line sloped this way, the rule would be different. Hopefully we can come across one of those. V prime is the image of point V after reflection. Across which axis was the V? So now they're just saying, oh, look, what changed? The Y changed. If the Y changed, we reflected over the x-axis. It's always the opposite of the one that changed. If Y changed, we reflected over the x-axis. If x changed, we reflected over the y-axis. All right, here's one last one. Here's a, no, that's the x-axis. So let's do this really quickly. I'm hoping to get y equals x. So again, since I'm reflecting across the x-axis, it's the y that changes. So again, x doesn't change, y changes sign. X doesn't change, y changes sign. X doesn't change, y changes sign. X doesn't change, y changes sign when we cross or reflect across the x-axis. Whoa, what did I do wrong? -9, 10, got the first one right. -9, 5, got the second one right. -1, 1, got the third one right. Oh, I didn't put a negative in front of the 1. Look at that right there. I accidentally changed the sign on the first one. Again, just be very careful that you don't make mistakes. Ooh, now here's one. I'm glad we got one of these. Again, cross the line x equals 3. So x equals 3, 1, 2, 3, is this line right here. This one you might have to take the time to actually look at it to see, because there won't be a simple rule. G and F don't change. That's nice. G and F don't change. So right now I'm going to go down to G and F and put in 3, -7, and 3, 2. They don't change. But E and H will. E, which was 3, 7 to the left, is going to be all the way over here. 3, 7. It's going to be right here at 10, 2. So that's H. Sorry, that's H. H is all the way over at 10, 2. And if you'll notice, the X is, again, the thing that changed. Y didn't change, because when you're reflecting over a vertical line, you stay horizontally in the same position. So that tells me when I reflect E, I should still be at a -7 as far as the y-axis, or the y point. But now I just got to go, oh, I'm 3, 6 to the left of the blue line. I need to be 3, 6 to the right. So that's actually at 9. So I moved over to 9. So be careful if it's across an odd line that's not the x or y axis. I believe all these, though, are going to be across the x change, so that's across the y axis. Again, if you get to any that are harder, let me know. I mean, x equals -2. That's a vertical line right here. So all the y's are going to change. The x's will not change. So I know I'm still going to be, sorry, the x's are going to change. The y's will not change if I'm reflecting across the vertical line. The y's will change. The x's will not. The x's will change. The y's will not. That's what's wait, across the line, x equals -2. It's a vertical line. The y's are not going to change, because we're going to reflect across this line. Yep, the y's don't change. It's the x's that change. 3, 3, 0. And since I'm 2, 4, 6 to the D to the right, I need to be 6 to the left. 2, 4, 6 to the left. That puts me at a -8 for D. And if you have any questions, let me know.